Welcome, Deasha.
Hello.
I'm super excited to welcome you in. So you're Deasha. Deasha, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Deasha. I'm a social media and business coach, and I help service-based entrepreneurs to get visible on social media and make sales.
And you are now also an NLP practitioner and breakthrough coach and timeline therapist.
Yay!
It's been so amazing seeing the things that you've been sharing since you completed the training. As you went through the training, because you were on our 6-day Accelerate, weren't you?
Yes, yeah, it was.
Yeah. As you went through the training, what kind of, I want to say breakthroughs, like what kind of experience did you feel like you had?
It was mind-opening, like just to see all of the different techniques that you can use, and also to realize, like, I've had so much coaching in the past and I've been part of so many different programs and strategies and things, and to see some of those things, that's what they were doing, or see the language that people were using in sales calls, I'm like, they got that from NLP, and being able to see that from the outside looking in and seeing it was like, that's so interesting to be able to see that. And it's made the way that I train now change drastically onto just the words and the language that I use when I am teaching and training people.
Yeah, it's really powerful. So I remember you saying throughout the training that the sales stuff was really, really handy. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I've been using some of the sales stuff in my new group program, and that's been fantastic because some of my clients are already getting sales out of we're on week 3 this week, and that's been fantastic for me to be able to pass on the knowledge that I've learned through the NLP and the techniques that I've yet learned, and be able to share that with other people in a way that makes sense for sales and sales on social media and the digital world that we live in as well. Make
Yeah,
massive difference.
yeah. And it's so powerful to know that within 2 weeks you've been getting results like so fast. That's really amazing. So I'm going to touch on something that I think we kind of need to speak about. So when you joined the program, you joined for in person. That was massively the plan. At the time, we were running in-person training, and you were supposed to join us in April. Now, with everything that happened and the bit of a shitstorm that went on with COVID, we weren't able to deliver it in person, and we've had Accelerate, which has now taken the place of in-person training. So I'm a little bit nervous to hear what you're going to say. But I also think it's a question that does need asking genuinely. Like what has been your experience having been wanting to go through the in-person training, not being able to, and then having joined us on Accelerate?
I was nervous about it, and I know I had been emailing you throughout the year being like, I just really don't want to do virtual, and I didn't want to do the online course. And I know I hold my hands up when I sign up for a course. I'm rubbish at completing them. So I was like, I don't want to do an online course again that I'm not going to take in, because as we learned on the training, I'm very auditory. So I end up fast forwarding it and doing other things, and I don't take as much in as I should. And I was like, really just want to do in person. And then as the year progressed, I was like, I'm just gonna have to do it online, aren't I? Really, unless I'm gonna put it off till the end of 2021. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to do it online. And it wasn't as bad as I was anticipating. I was thinking, because I've done some training over the past year where there've been 3 days training, and I designed a whole macrame thing because I was so bored listening to them talk. I was like, oh God. So I was prepared this time, and I had my coloring book so I could stay focused and not have my mind wandering. And it was great, and it wasn't as bad as I was anticipating it was going to be on the other trainings that I've done so far this year that have moved online. So it was, but 6 days was a long period, I think, staring at a computer screen. I did need the 2 days off afterwards to decompress.
Yeah. So you also said through the training that you learn about when we go into like learning styles and how you learn, how you prefer to be communicated to. I hope you don't mind saying this, but your words were like, you've learned that you're an auditory learner and you need something to do with your hands, and you feel like, I think the word you used was relieved or something like that, because you now feel normal knowing that it's actually okay that you want something else to do with your hands at the same time.
Yeah, because I've always thought that I just feel like I'm, a bit strange when I'm just twiddling my thumbs and looking for something to do. And then, of course, then I get distracted because I end up with getting things out that I don't necessarily need to do, or doing things online because I'm like, I just need to do something with my arms. So knowing, okay, right, I'm an auditory learner and I just have to figure out what I can do. So having the coloring book and being able to like, okay, that doesn't take much thinking. So I can just color and has something to do with my hands whilst I listen. And that meant that I could take everything in through the course, which was really useful. And I had my bike as well, so I could jump on the bike and get my feet moving as well.
Yeah, that was good. Um, yeah, I know it's really fast paced as well, isn't it? So there isn't really an opportunity for you to kind of disconnect from it, because it's like, right now you're going to go and do an exercise. So
Yeah, and that's what I found with other trainings that I've done. It was a lot of just speaking at you for 3 days. And again, because or now I know that I'm auditory, I just didn't know what to do with myself for 3 days when they're just talking at you through a computer. Whereas with all of the techniques and stuff, okay, we're going to put you into a breakout room. It also meant that I had to listen because I had to know what I was going to do when I was going to go to the breakout room.
yeah, and you had to be on the ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay. So in terms of the training then, so obviously we know what you expected because you were supposed to come in person, and we did the online accelerate, and the feedback that we've had overall has been absolutely incredible. So as you've gone through the training, you've already got results from it, which is incredible. You've already implemented it into your business, which is amazing. And I've seen like the posts that you've been putting out on social media, and you've been talking about like the learning styles and how you've implemented it, and that's been amazing. And we've actually had some of our students saying that they've seen your posts and they want to write posts like you.
Oh, thanks.
I'm like, that's why Deasha does what she does, because she's a social media and online business support. And she's very good at what she does, and she walks the talk. So okay, so coming out of the other end then, and having gone through the experience, do you think that you got everything you wanted from the training?
Yeah, absolutely. And more. Like, I didn't think the timeline therapy thing was going to be at all interesting. I was like, oh, it's probably going to be too woo and too much for me. But we'll just do it because it's there. And I'd been recommended it, and a couple of other people that I know and my coach had done it, and she was like, it's amazing. You have to do it. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I'd watched some of your videos, and I was like, okay, all right, fine. And I think I decided to join like a week before we actually did it. I was like, all right, I give in. I'll do it. And that was so much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. And getting all of the online training stuff done before we jumped into it was really useful as well.
Yeah, and it's amazing because we've already had recommendations coming through the course from you already, and your coach recommends people to me already as well. I think we've had 2 or 3 people come from your coach's recommendation as well. That's really lovely. It's good to know, because we run big campaigns, but we still have more people come from students who are going through the course.
Yeah.
So we must be doing something right. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel like you got everything from the training. That's brilliant. What would you say to somebody who might be literally sat on the fence thinking, I'm not sure whether to do accelerate or not? What would you say?
Do it. If you're anything like me and you're one of those people that goes, yeah, I'll buy a course and I'll do it at some point, and then you never actually do it, accelerate is where you have to sit down for those time and allocate that time to it. I would never have done it if it wasn't for that scheduled time to sit down and do it, and I wouldn't have gone into as much detail and understood it as much as going through it together. I'm always one of those people that's like, yeah, I have big intentions to complete the online courses, but I just don't. So being able to have that scheduled time where you're like, okay, this is where you can go through all of the stuff, and being able to have that online course, because I've gone back through the online course since and been like, okay, I just want to recap on the sales stuff so that I can teach it better, or I want to pull out that bit that Rebecca was talking about. So I've gone back in since, and knowing the structure now, I can just go back in and find it really easily, and having that resource to go back to as well is really useful.
Yeah, yeah, one of the biggest things that I felt like we needed was that. So you can just go back and watch the demos, or just go back and dip in and out whenever you need to. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. It's been so lovely to like catch up and learn more about your experience and everything. Is there anything else that you want to add?
No, I just think everybody should do NLP just for the insight into the language and other things to learn. It's not just for business, but for yourself and the way you communicate with other people. It was mind blowing just to see. Oh, that's why that conversation that I had 2 years ago didn't go as planned because we've got different models of the world and the way we look at things is different, and I should have explained that differently. So that
Yeah,
was powerful.
yeah, yeah. It is amazing, isn't it? Thank you so much, Deasha.
Thank you.